right, it is that time of the year again. School is almost back in again. And for many students, this year is going to be different. More than 1 million students will be transitioning from high school to college. Some will be moving away from home for the very first time and dealing with the new stressors of college. A recent report from Inside Higher Ed found that about 56% of 3,000 students surveyed did experience chronic stress. Joining me now live is Harlan Cohen. He is the author of several books, including The Naked Roommate and 107 Other Issues That You Might Run Into in College. Harlan, thank you so much for your time today. Appreciate it. So, Harlan, it's back to school for some, but for some parents, it might be their very first time sending their kids off to college, which can be really tough, really emotional. Um, what's some advice? I mean, what are some of the tips that you might have for these parents?
Yeah. Well, I am so excited to be here. And for all those parents who are feeling a lot of big emotions, I just want you to know it's going to be okay. It's going to work out. It's going to be great. The more your kid is sad, the more they love you and miss you, and the more you won. And you're incredible. It's going to be a great experience. But there's also a lot to anticipate. And getting comfortable with the uncomfortable is really the headline. Change is hard, it's difficult. New friends, new relationships, new challenges. We know this group of students has dealt with a lot of challenging times, especially they were like COVID freshmen and sophomores around that time. So just going through change can be hard. So we have to make sure they know that they're going to get comfortable with the uncomfortable. And that's pretty much what I do. I help students and parents navigate all these changes.
Yeah, which is great. I'm a parent myself, and I don't have a kid in college yet, but I know how difficult even elementary school can be. But I also know that the kids as well, sometimes they just want to push their parents away. So it's not really just the parents who are struggling with change. College, of course, a shock to the system. But what are some of the things that kids should also keep in mind for their very first
Yeah.
year away? I know that they might have some separation anxiety, and they may also be really anxious to just pull the plug.
Yeah, well, I want to give everyone something of value. So, people, places, patience. That's the headline. It's where are your three places? Places are where you sweat, play, pray, live, learn, lead, love, and work. So, it's places. Who are the people you're going to surround yourself with? People who volunteer, people who are paid, people who you can ask, and how long will it take to get where you want to go? So many students get to school and they wait for people to invite them and include them. But I'm a big fan of seek out your places, find your people, and appreciate like this could take about a couple months. It could even take a couple semesters. You just need to be equipped to handle the discomfort that's part of change and have a plan so you're going to be okay no matter what.
Oh, great advice. All right. So seek out your places, find your people, have some gratitude in the process. And of course, lots of different people are going through this. Let's talk about first generation college kids. Not
Yeah.
only are they experiencing this brand new educational experience, but they may also be dealing with this added pressure in their family because they are the first to go off to college. So, taking this into
Yeah.
consideration, Harlan, what are some ways that students and families can better support here?
Well, I love working with first generation families. It's such a big change because they have no one else who's helped them to know what's coming. And I offer a lot of tips and advice on my social media, especially for our first gen families. But when I'm advising them, it's go to the Trio Center. Most campuses, or a lot of them, have Trio and it's student services. Go to a first generation office. There's usually a multicultural center, or there's a place where someone can go where they identify whether it's their race or their ethnicity or religion. So, really look for those particular places where you're going to connect with other students who have been there and done it because you tend to find the friendliest people, the kindest people. First gen students struggle when it comes to advocating for themselves. And when you're in a place where you're around people who can help you and support you and guide you, it becomes a lot easier. But for those families, I would say you are worthy and deserving of this experience. You're going to question yourself at times. And when you question yourself, if you don't have those people around you, it can get very lonely and you can start to think that you're not ready for this, but you are. And I want to just hit on one more thing. Some students come from schools where the person sitting next to them was in an AP class or a part of an IB program and had a lot more learning. So when a student's sitting next to someone who had more learning and comes from a different district, they don't know as much as that student. And it's not because something's wrong with their brain, it's because they just haven't been given access to that information. So I think it's really important for first gen students to make sure they seek out those people and places and tell people when you need help, and you will get the support you need.
All right, people, places, and always ask for help. I'm taking copious notes here. I want to ask you also about this book that you wrote. It's called Win or Learn: The Naked Truth About Turning Every Rejection into Your Ultimate Success, which is one thing that I feel definitely isn't highlighted enough, because success obviously is not always smooth sailing. Unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of rejection along the way as well, especially as you head
Yeah.
off to college. And then after that, you go out into the real world for the very first time. So what are some of the ways that students can cope with these types of pressures, the pressure of rejection?
Yeah, I love that you brought this up. Thank you for the gift of being able to share the universal rejection truth. So, the universal rejection truth should be on the periodic table of elements, the URT. And the universal rejection truth says, not everyone and everything will always respond to me the way I always want. This is a law of nature. We spend so much time taking rejection personally. And when you recognize that there's this truth, and on the path to getting where you want to go is going to be rejection, and you're a broadcaster, you get rejected. I'm a speaker, I'm an author, I get rejected. I'm married, I get rejected. I got kids, I get rejected. This universal rejection truth is part of change, it's part of college. And when we recognize it, instead of fighting it and having it become all consuming, we can face it. And I like to be the person in students' corners, parents' corners, to remind them that rejection is normal. It's part of the life process. It's like breathing. Don't fight it, accept it, and Win or Learn gives you a roadmap so that you can really focus on the success part and not let the adversity and challenges stop you.
I love it. You got to keep your head up. Don't take it personally. All right, some great advice there. Harlan Cohen.